What's going on, my second grade all-stars? Welcome back to another great week of learning. And like always, guys, on behalf of all your second grade teachers, we're so proud of you. So proud of you for the resilience you've shown, for the hard work you've shown, for you showing up each and every single day, growing your brains, making yourself a little bit more knowledgeable, a little bit better, so that you're ready to tackle third grade. All right, it'll be here before you guys know it. So what we're going to be talking about today in reading is we're focusing on what do we do when we come to these words that we don't know. Now, for the past couple of weeks, we've been working on different strategies, and you guys have been incorporating that when you're reading, looking around those words, looking, is the explanation of that word in front of the word? Is it behind the word? Is there synonyms or antonyms with it in the text that I can use to try and figure that word out? Or using the pictures, using those photographs to help give us clues on figuring out what that word is. Now, we're going to be talking about another strategy today that's going to help us out. And it's a strategy that I use all the time. And it's using a glossary or a dictionary. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go over different sections of a glossary and a dictionary. So this is a strategy that you boys and girls can use for unknown words. So here we go, my friends. We're going to start it up. Now, so we're talking about glossaries and dictionaries. Let's start with a glossary, boys and girls. Now, in a lot of the nonfiction books that we read, there's glossaries, and we know that the glossary comes at the end of the story. Now, a glossary, boys and girls, and the same goes with a dictionary. Glossaries and dictionaries are put in alphabetical orders. Now, in a nonfiction book, a lot of your bold-faced words, a lot of your italics words are going to be in the glossary. And things that I notice about a glossary, boys and girls, is the specific word comes in front. And notice how this word is a different color than this. All right? Usually maybe these will be bold-faced, maybe there'll be a different color, but this is the unknown word, or the specific word that the author wanted us to know more about. So if I look, antenna, and then afterwards it tells me it's a device used for sending and receiving information. Now also in the glossary, boys and girls, the words are listed in alphabetical order, as you can see, from A to Z. We start with the A's, then we go to M, then a word that has N, then R, S, 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 S. All right, these are put in alphabetical order. Now look at these words. We had samples, solar panels, Soviet Union, spacecraft. They all start with S's. So we know alphabetical order, if they start with the same first letter, we go to the second. And we see samples has an A, where solar panels, Soviet Union, spacecraft, they have an O and then a P. So A becomes before O and P. So samples comes first. Now we come down to solar panels and Soviet Union. They both had the same second letter. So then we know we go to the third letter. So there's an L in solar, there's a V in Soviet. L comes before V, so solar panels is listed before Soviet Union. Now, let's go to another page here, my friends. Let's practice real quick. So read with me at home while I read out loud. Let's start with the heading here. Mars rover at work. A spacecraft nears the planet Mars. It carries the Curiosity rover. The spacecraft drops near the surface. Then a crane lowers Curiosity. Its landing is a success. This new Mars rover is ready to explore. Now I was reading and rover popped up in my head. All right, a flag went up in my head because I'm paying attention while I'm reading. I don't know what rover means. And looking around the word, I wasn't able to really figure out what it means, or I was a little unsure. Using the picture, I was still unsure. So what I'm going to do, especially it's a bold-faced word, so I know the author really wanted to emphasize this word. I'm going to flip to the glossary. So I'm going to the glossary, and I know rover starts with an R. So I'm going to go down the list, and I come to rover. And I see that it's a vehicle that explores surfaces outside of the Earth. So now that helps me understand that passage, what rover means. And I'm going to flip back and continue reading. Let's read another section together, guys. So this one says, read with me at home while I read out loud. Saturn is the least dense planet. If Saturn could fit into a bathtub, it would float. Why come to this word dense? And I don't really understand what dense means. I'm looking around the word, and it's still hard for me to figure out and understand, what does dense mean? So what are we going to do? What part of the book are you going to go to? The glossary, right, my friends? So I flip to the back of the book. I'm going to go to my glossary because understanding vocabulary is very important. Now, what I want you to do right now is I'm going to give you 5 seconds. I want you to look in the glossary. We know it's in alphabetical order. Find the word dense. Find what the word dense means and read it to yourself. Okay, boys and girls. So if I go down my list, and I know dense starts with a D, and I look, well, I know D comes right after C. So here's dangerous, DA, come to dense, DE. And I see dense, having parts packed tightly together, okay? So when it says least dense, that means it's not very tightly packed together. So that was a glossary. Now we're going to move into a dictionary. And dictionary is very similar to a glossary. Big difference. Dictionary is its own book. A glossary you'll find at the end of these nonfiction books. Where a dictionary, it's going to be all by itself. It comes into a book all by itself. It goes in alphabetical order, just like the glossary. But a dictionary is going to be filled with thousands and thousands of words, all right, that we can learn from. Now, one thing that I want, say I'm trying to figure out the word burrow, all right, my word burrow right here. What I can use, boys and girls, one thing that a dictionary does, because there's so many words and it goes in alphabetical order, but there's going to be a lot of words that start with a B. They have these things called guide words. And guide words are located at the very top of the page, okay? So this is buoyant. And you can see buoyant, it tells me the first word on this page. Now, on this page, it's going to give me another guide word, butter, right here. Now, butter, where buoyant was the first word on this page, on the second page, butter, that's going to be the last word on the page. And why they put these on here, my friends, is so that I know, we said it's alphabetical order, right? All the words that come in between here would be alphabetically placed in between buoyant and butter, okay? So if it has a B-U-O or all the way up to a B-U-T are going to be, if you notice all these words, they all have B-U, all right? And then B-U-R all the way to B-U-T over here, boys and girls. So I'm looking for burrow. And I find the page because I know burrow comes in between buoyant and butter. So I look B-U. Well, I see these are all B-U. I want to go B-U-R. So I look B-U-R, B-U-R. So I'm going to look at the next letter, B-U-R-R. So I'm coming down and I see B-U-R-E, B-U-R-G. So I come to the next column and I keep coming down and we go B-U-R-R. So now I'm going to look at the next B-U-R-R-O. Still alphabetical order, that pattern that we use. And I come down and I find the word burrow right there, boys and girls. So I notice burrow. Now I want to zoom in on this so you can see what's it look like in a dictionary for these words. So we look now in a dictionary, guys. when I look here, burrow, it tells me the word. Then this tells me how the word is separated. And in parentheses, it will tell you how to pronounce it. Burrow. Burrow. Tells me whether it's a noun or a verb. And burrow it can be used as a noun or a verb, but it's going to be used differently. If it's a noun, we see that it is a hole or tunnel that an animal digs in the earth. Rabbits and foxes live in burrows. Now, if it's a verb, if it's used as a verb, and these are different ways that we can write burrow. All right, burrowed or burrowing. So if it's used as a verb, it tells us of an animal to dig a hole or a tunnel in the earth, or to look hard, search. Here, it's telling me, giving it an example. She had to burrow around in the dresser drawer to find her keys. So it's giving us an example of how to use the word correctly. So this is what it looks like in a dictionary, boys and girls. Gives us the word, the syllables, how to pronounce it, tells us whether it's a noun or a verb. It might give us, if we did a plural version of the word, if there was more than one, the definition, and sometimes it'll give us an example of how to use that word. Now I'm going to give you a chance, scholars. What I want you to do, we're going to look up the woodwind instrument. I want you to see if you can use your skills in a dictionary to find the word woodwind instrument. So go ahead. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Go ahead. We know it's alphabetical order. Right up here it tells us how to spell woodwind instrument. I don't know what a woodwind instrument is. This dictionary is super nice because this gives us a lot of pictures too. So go ahead, use the screen, find out what is a woodwind instrument. All right, my scholars, if I'm looking, woodwind instrument, I see W-O-O-D. So I'm looking and I'm coming down my columns and I come, here's wood. So I know I'm getting close. Woodwind instrument. And right here, if you found woodwind instrument, you are correct, my friends. Give me a fist bump. Let's go. Let's get it. Now, this is the last thing that we're going to be talking about. So we've been talking about glossaries and dictionaries. Well, more and more, we're using these electronic tablets, whether it's a Kindle, a Nook, whether we're reading on iPads, okay? This is how we figure out words on an electronic device. And this is what I use the most. I use electronic devices when I read. So when I'm reading, boys and girls, say we're reading about penguins here. And we come up and we say, penguins are perfect for their lives at sea. They have a sleek shape for speed. A layer of blubber keeps them warm. Well, I don't know what blubber, my flag went up. I don't know what blubber means. So what I do, boys and girls, is, and you can do this on Epic. So I encourage you to do this on Epic. You go to the word, you click on it, click on that word, and the definition of that word will pop up. Here, I can click on, this is a symbol that will tell me if I click on it, it's going to tell me how to pronounce that word. And it also broke it up in the syllables right here. Just like in the dictionary and glossary, it gives us the definitions and see how it can be used in more than one way. As a noun, all right, the fat of whales and other large sea animals, or the action of blubbering, or a verb, to weep noisily or to talk and weep at the same time. So when you're reading on these tablets, click on the word and a screen like this will pop up and it will tell us what the word means. All right, my scholars, this was just an introduction into using the glossaries and dictionaries and using the electronic tablets and how we can figure out words that we don't know the meaning of. All right. You want to pay attention. Listen, guys, when I'm reading, and I've been reading, I'm an old man. All right. So I've been reading for a long time. And almost every single day that I read, I'm coming across words that I don't know. All right. I'm always being exposed to words that I don't know what they mean. And I just don't keep reading. I'm using the skills that we've talked about, but I also use those dictionaries, those glossaries all the time because it's important that we understand these words that authors are using. So use those skills, keep looking around the word, use those photographs, look for the examples, the synonyms, antonyms, but also look to use the glossaries and dictionaries, my friends. So today, while you're reading, all right, I challenge you, find 3 to 5 words. Use the glossary, use the dictionary, or use the electronic tablets and practice tapping on those words so that the definition pops up. As always, guys, so proud, all right? Way to be amazing, way to be awesome. Keep smiling, keep shining, and keep being that special you that you are. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.